You tell me how many lies. You tell me how many lies. Now, I'm a former prosecutor. Lies are important. If I want to try a case, if I want to figure out what happened, I got to figure out who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. And if someone's lying, why are they lying? And what does it mean to the case? Why would you say that lie? Why would you not be truthful with investigators? Speaks volumes in cases, absolute volumes. Now, you can't prove your case completely through lies because we know there was someone else in Central Florida who lied a lot and ended up walking out of jail. Okay? But lies when you're in the investigation and lies when you're a prosecutor tell you a lot about where the truth is and who's hiding what and who is not being truthful and why aren't you being truthful. That helps you get to the truth. You need other evidence as well, obviously. You can't get a conviction just through lies. Unless, of course, well, even in the case of perjury, it's not just a lie. You got to prove the item that was true, right? So you have to prove that it's a lie. To prove a lie is a lie, you got to figure out what the truth is. But sometimes the lies help get you there. And that's what's happening, I believe, in this case. Welcome, folks, on this Sunday night. I'm Vinny Politan, former prosecutor, and we are streaming live on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on X. We're also on my special personal Facebook fan page as well. So we got a lot of people checking in tonight. Great to see everyone. And really, to me, it starts with like the lies of Stephen Stearns. We know already some of those. But the lies become the foundation of his defense, if you believe it's a lie. And they've already said so. I mean, investigators have come out pretty quickly and said, well, what this story's not making sense to us. This story doesn't make sense to us. But there's a couple of things, and I think these are the important pieces of evidence, right? You say you need more than just a lie to prove something. The 7:35 a.m. video of the items being discarded. Okay. Where exactly is that all taking place? Where are these items being discarded? It's been described as in a dumpster. Okay. I haven't been down there yet. It's a gated community. But if you look at some of the aerial photos of this gated community, first, this is the back entrance. There's two entrances and slash exits that I found to this neighborhood, Venetian Bays. You got the back entrance here, no guards. Okay. There might be cameras there. It looks like there could be a camera there. It could be license plate readers. Could be some way, but there is no physical guard there. And the front entrance is a much different scenario. But I want you to take a look at this map real quick. You look at this map and you see where that blue ends. I have like on the right side of the screen, Kensington Road. That's right where there's that gate I just showed you is right there. And then if you look to the top left, you'll see Santa Maria Drive, right? That's the street where the house is. So the house is actually very easily accessed in and out of that back gate. And there's one other thing close to that back gate that I think could be interesting. We got to take a closer look at it. Let me see if we get a closer look at it. Right here by the basketball courts. On the right side by the water and the trees. The water and the trees. Is that the dumpster? If that is, in fact, the dumpster that we're talking about in this case, the camera could be on a home because there's a home right there on the left side of the screen. There's a white something there. I don't know what that white structure is. I don't know if that's an actual building or not. It's hard to tell. But this dumpster is extremely, if this is the dumpster they're talking about, is extremely close to the back of the neighborhood. Now, what you're looking at here is the two ways to get to the middle school. If you go out the front entrance exit, it's the dark blue. It's 18 minutes. The light blue would be going from that home out the back entrance or exit. And the light blue, you kind of take an extra loop, a couple extra minutes, but pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. So getting in and out of this neighborhood, you can do it from the front, you can do it from the back. I think that's important. Here's the way you would get out in the back, right? Right out the back exit from the home on Santa Maria Drive, right? Go down Santa Maria Drive, and you're actually going to go past that image that sort of looks like a dumpster, which is right next to the basketball court and that little pond. If that is, in fact, the dumpster, I'm not sure. But what's also interesting about this entire neighborhood, you see the wooded areas that exist. You see the bodies of water that exist as well. Yet her body is found 22 miles away. Now, generally speaking, that would help a defendant. It would probably harm a defendant if it's right here in the complex, a lot closer to home. But here it's 22 miles away. The problem is he is seen in that area changing the tire. So he puts himself there. He puts himself where she was found. So that's problematic. That's obviously problematic. All right, here's interesting from Sonia tonight. Mother lawyered up, isn't talking. When you're innocent, you have nothing to hide. You speak freely. Yeah, and there are people who would argue with you, especially on my show every night. They argue this point all the time, that even if you're innocent, you need a lawyer. If you're being, looked at by law enforcement or being questioned, you need a lawyer. I just think it's different when it's your child. Right? If they're trying to pin something else on me. But if it's my child, don't I want them to get to the truth? Now, do you trust them? Are they targeting you and you get a bad feeling? Only someone in that circumstance can do that, can respond to that. Because in other cases, I've seen false confession. So I get it why people get lawyers. But lawyering up does not mean you have to shut up. Lawyering up just means everything can go through your lawyer and you can still provide all the information necessary. So that's what's happening. All right. Be on time. Well, I was getting some last minute things done here when I created the live stream. Third party app creates the live stream a little bit before I'm ready to go. But it's just minutes. It's just minutes. Wow. Lisa's in Delphi, Indiana, May 13th. That trial's coming up. Wow. A lot to talk about there. So how many lies? Here's there's one that really, really gets to me. And allegedly, right? Everything's alleged. Any defendant can deny it, or anyone can deny it. This is the church parking lot, by the way. And then this is the path that she would have to walk if she was dropped off at the church parking lot. You have to go under that overpass as well, which is Highway 417. There's the family tree. Yeah, rough. So here's the lie by the alleged lie by Jennifer Soto that's really, really bothering me. And again, getting back to what we know, 7:35, the video of Stephen Stearns allegedly discarding items in the dumpster, right? Significant, important, right? They recover from that dumpster a backpack and a laptop. That's 7:35 in the morning. So what does that exactly mean in terms of where Maddie is, what Maddie is doing? If someone is tossing your backpack and your laptop at 7:35, is there any way that she could still be alive at that time? Would that make any sense? Would that make any sense if he's tossing that at 7:35 in the morning, that she's not already no longer with us? That gets in. Well, if we put those two pieces together, and this is circumstantially putting something together, right? You're throwing away the backpack, you're throwing away the laptop in the dumpster. So you're circumstantially putting these pieces together with direct evidence. Like a video is direct evidence of you doing something. But they're all circumstances regarding the death of Maddie. So if you put those pieces together and from there presume that at 7:35 he's already committed, or she has already passed away. Okay. Then you go to the alleged statement made by the mother on February 26th, when this is a missing persons case. The mother said, I saw her getting changed for school at around 8:00. Now, if it was a normal day, that timeline would be accurate. That would make sense, right? School starts, I believe, around 9. You got to get there. It's 20 minutes away. I don't know if it's further in morning traffic, but there is another school. It's right around the corner, but she didn't go to that one. So Hunter's Creek is about 20 minutes away. So 8:00, it would make sense on any other day, on a normal day. But if the backpack and the laptop are already being tossed at 7:35, it doesn't make sense to me that at 8:00 she's changing for school. What does that mean? What does that mean? Right? Like, does that make sense to anyone here? The mother is allegedly saying on the 26th is when she's missing. So it's the day of being missing. It's not like she's looking back in time. When it's a missing persons case, she allegedly tells investigators who are looking for a missing child that she saw her at 8:00 in the morning. But investigators have video at 7:35 of Stephen Stearns throwing something out in the dumpster. And in the dumpster is the backpack and the laptop. That doesn't make sense. Something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Something's very, very wrong here. Now, the mother was interviewed by WFTV and had said that the last time she spoke to her was the night before about the birthday party and how she got gifts and she had a great time, etc. And then allegedly tells police the following morning. Well, the first thing is not alleged because we see it on video, right? She's actually saying it on a video that we've all seen. Then we've got this allegation that she's telling investigators on the 26th that she saw her getting dressed. So she didn't speak to her. And I guess it's possible you could see your child getting dressed and you wouldn't say good morning or, oh, wow, happy birthday, 13-year-old. Is my teenager getting dressed this morning for the first time as a teenager? All little things like that. Although their birthday was actually on the 22nd. But wouldn't there be like a little conversation if you saw her getting ready for school at 8:00? Doesn't sit well with me. Like I said at the top, I'm a prosecutor. And if people are saying things that are untrue, You've got to figure out why. Why? Why are they saying it? If it's provably untrue, then you've got to figure out why is that lie being told? Is it just a mistake? You're mixing up dates? Here's the problem with that. I mean, I can't imagine that on the day your teenager goes missing, you're going to misremember that morning. I mean, is that possible? That you confuse that day with a day from the prior week? Like this, she's missing. When was the last time you saw her? When was the last time I saw her getting dressed this morning? Because you want to know what she was wearing, because you want to tell police and investigators and the world what she was wearing that day. I remember, yeah, she was getting dressed. She was wearing, it's an important fact. Everything, every little fact becomes heightened. It's not like things that are non-consequential. These are the most important things to remember in a missing child case, especially when it first happens and you're within the first 48 hours of this. How are you going to mess that up? Unless you're lying about it. Or perhaps you're relying upon something someone else told you, but you're saying, I saw her. Oh, man. That gets, to me, that gets to the heart of the investigation, because you've got to understand who knew what, when, who's being truthful, who is hiding things, who is telling the truth, who is not telling the truth, and what exactly. And it comes back to this, what was going on in the house? That's really the ultimate issue here. What was going on in this house? And what's the relationship between the man behind the glasses, Stephen Stearns, and Jen and Madeline? The relationships are so incredibly significant and important in all of this. So important. By the way, who was at the birthday party? I'm looking in the reflection of this picture, and I see someone looks bearded with a hat, and then looks like two people sitting down. So you got a person sitting down, and it looks like someone standing up with a beard. Who are these people? And have they spoken? Have they told everything they know? Have they said everything they know about what happened that night at the party? What was her world like? And this is an important question by Marcia. Extremely important. What exactly was going on there? Listen to Flower Girl. She knows what she's talking about. Here's another great point. Thank you. We got to get to the truth of this. This is the church parking lot. Yeah, mom didn't make breakfast for her daughter. This was the alleged walk that she took from the church parking lot down this road and under this overpass of 417 to the other side to the church parking lot. Does it make sense? Does it make sense is the question. Does any of this make sense? So through social media, this appears to be the family situation that I'll just go back to that for a second. Is that Madeline is born the child of Jennifer and Tyler. And 2 months later, Tyler is marrying Tatiana. So I don't know the relationship or the history of Tyler and Jennifer. And about 6 years ago, Stephen Stearns makes his way into Jennifer and Madeline's life or their lives. I don't know the backstory here, but what I do know is that Tyler was posting some pretty normal pictures online. Tatiana gave a statement after Stearns was arrested for the search of Madeline. And I understand people who don't speak out. I get it. It's not easy to be in the spotlight in a case like this. So once again, you know, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. That's how they start in my book. They all get the benefit of the doubt, but Jennifer's statement about getting dressed in the morning to me is incongruent with the video discarding items at 7:35. And then you've got Madeline appearing lifeless in the car at 8:19. Again, that completely undermines the dropping off at school. And what I don't know is, is there actual video from that church? And was there someone else caught on that video that appeared to perhaps be her? I don't know. I don't know. Great point here by Joanne. 8:00 is late enough to at least say hi, baby, even when everyone's in it. And yeah, you're always going to kind of scream something out to your child, aren't you? Hey, do you look here? You see the tire? Let me go back to that picture. 1 second. I'm just going to go back. Let me find it. I got to find that. Here it is. All right. So pay attention to that back tire. Yeah, he did change a tire. He did put on a spare. The question we talked about on my show the other night was that a ruse to have a flat tire? And is the tire actually flat? Or was it a ruse to be parked on the side of the road in that remote part of St. Cloud near farms and having a reason to pop open the back trunk? What exactly is the whole story behind the flat tire? Like, you're getting a flat tire in the area where you're missing stepdaughter, use that term very loosely, is found. What does that mean? But there was a changing of the tire, it seems, because the photo that they grabbed, you see the spare, which I thought was significant. Significant to see that. Susan believes mom may have been a victim of this man as well, which is very true. Now, the 26th, no one is arrested, right? So there could be two things going on here. If in fact, again, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt in my mind until I see evidence, but I talk about the evidence that troubles me. If she's a victim and Tarn says she was sleeping after working late, very possible. She did say she spoke to her at night, though. So how late was Madeline up that night? If she spoke to her, did she speak to her on the phone or did she speak to her in person? I think she spoke to her in person. So Madeline's up, but mom's not, or is she? But she's up enough to see her. So I don't know where the rooms are in this house, but I think there's 3 or 4 bedrooms. I took a look through it before. And would you have to be walking the hallways to see her? Would you have to go to her doorway to see if she's getting dressed? So I don't think she was out cold sleeping because she said that she did, in fact, see her. A lot of people looking at this picture and wondering who's that in the glasses. Who is that in the glasses? Toxicology is real. That takes the longest always. And the autopsy results, the medical examiner's report. My guess is, based on the timing, you may very well be able to get some information from the toxicology. We still don't know what state her remains were in. Yeah, this is problematic. Now, getting the clothing description wrong can mean one of two things, right? From the time that she saw her, there's an intervening action, and something happens, and perhaps different clothes are put on her, or she's forced to put on other clothes, or it's a lie, right? That's why when there's something that isn't true and it's provably untrue, you've got to figure out, why is it not true? Why is something untrue coming from this witness? Absolutely significant. Amanda, new subscriber, welcome. Thank you, Amanda, for joining the crew here on this Sunday night. For those of you just joining us, where have I been? Lolly, where have I been? I've been at Court TV. Your front row seat to justice. Yeah, I don't see any kids at the party. The party, the attendance list on that party, I think, is really big. Really big. This is interesting. Linda Lou, if this is the truth, everyone's on my squeaky chair again. I'll get some DW40 or whatever you call it. Well, then you're talking about co-defendants, if that's the case. Premeditated co-defendants. That's a huge problem. Huge problem. All right, personal story. I think these personal stories are important that we share, so we have some perspective in these cases. This from Lily. Thank you for sharing, Lily. When I was 8, mom's boyfriend, while he had a knife to my neck and made some threats. Yep. Lily, thanks for sharing. And that could explain some of the silence and all of this. I think a lot of people are taking a look at the reflection and what do you see, what don't you see? At least 3 people at the birthday party. I don't know if that includes the person taking. I don't think it includes the person taking the picture. Like, who took the picture? That should be easy to figure out. Yep. Tatiana married to her dad, and they were married just a couple of months after. Just a couple of months after Maddie was born. Okay, this is interesting. Neighbor said there was a security guard on duty. Any word from the guard? Oh, this is interesting, right? Because what I was showing you before is that there appears to be, right? I haven't been there yet myself, but there appears to be a back entrance and exit as well. And most of the complexes that you go to down in Florida, I've been to a few of them. There would be 2 ways. You go in the front way, or you can go in or out the back way. But to go in and out the back way, you have to be a resident. You got to have the clicker. You hit the clicker and the gate goes up, and you can get in and out that way. So there's a way to circumvent driving past the security guard. And like I showed you, maybe it'll come back up again on the reel here. I'll try to find it. Is that there's 2 routes to the school. So if the security guard didn't see him at a particular time, he may argue that he went out the back gate. And I don't know if the back gate has a license plate reader, if it has a camera, or if it's just a gate that goes up and down. All important parts of this. All right. So let's keep that video going. All right. So here's the Venetian bays. This is the front entrance that you're looking at here. So this is the front. Okay. And when you look at the front, you can see there's this is big. Oh my goodness, something popped in my screen. This is a big entrance to a big complex. So you've got a guard building there. You've got the gates on both sides. It goes out to a pretty major road. But coming in out of here, I've got to think that there's cameras. I think there should be cameras. Most of these complexes will have cameras. And you've got a physical guard who's a witness. What did he see? What didn't he see? Was there anything on video? All of that. Extremely relevant. I'm getting a bunch of text messages right now, so I'll make sure everything's all right. Got it. All right. So that's the front entrance. Security guard would have information if the front entrance was actually used. And that's what I think is interesting here. If you're going to, here's the back. This is the back now. Could there be a camera there? Potentially. Looks like there could be one there. There's a gate. Use the clicker. I don't know if there's one of those keypads. It looks like there could possibly be a keypad there as well. And in the middle, looks like that could be a camera. Seeing who's coming in, who's coming out. But the back entrance seems like it's a little bit easier to get to from their home. It's hard to say. Oh, here we go. Joanne's got a great point here. We've got all these people here, and the likes are low. We got to hit the likes, folks. We're hitting 4,000 now. We got 4,000 people who need to smash it. Smash it, baby. Smash the likes. Come on. Come on. Let's get it going. And if you're on Facebook, you have to share it. You have to share it. I am less than 1,000 followers away from 1 million. Okay? Less than 100 away from 1 million. All right? So just hit the like, share it. And if you're joining us from YouTube and you have a Facebook account, you can just jump over there real quick, hit the follow button. You can jump back to YouTube if you want. But I need to get to 1 million. We got to do that. That's all I'm asking. All right. Let's see what we got here. Please throwing things away. I think this was video that was retrieved after the fact. I think this is video retrieved after the fact because it's 7:35. At 7:35, she's not even reported missing yet. Remember, when you look at the timeline, the call isn't made till that night. Jen says she doesn't even know that she's missing until 4 o'clock. And then police are called, I think it's around 8 o'clock, as she's trying to track down where her daughter is. So she's calling the teachers, etc., is what she said. So you couldn't follow him at that point because it wasn't an ongoing case. It didn't become a case till after the fact. All right. This is interesting. Tarn, 13. You don't get breakfast made. Yeah, that's again family dynamics. How does all that work? Who's out? The problem today is that TV is just spread across so many different delivery systems and platforms and ways to get us. But Court TV is everywhere. So you can still watch all your favorite trials, and you can watch my show every night from 8 to 10. I also have a weekend show that's on in the mornings at 10 a.m. on the weekends. And then I also have a episodic show where we take a look at cases, 1 hour focused on one case, travel around the country, visiting locations and talking to folks. So that's going on as well. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm shocked we got 4,100 right now on St. Patty's Day. I figured everybody would be a little worn out after the weekend, but we appreciate it. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So again, what's really bothering me tonight is this alleged statement made by Jen Soto on the 26th that she saw Madeline around 8 a.m. getting changed for school. Because at 7:35, according to investigators, Stephen Stearns is throwing stuff in the dumpster already. And we know what they recovered from the dumpster. Maddie's backpack, Maddie's laptop. If that stuff is missing at 8 o'clock when she's trying to get ready, it's going to be an issue in the house. It's going to be an issue. I can't find my backpack. Where's my backpack? Mom, you see my backpack? Mom, where's my laptop? So you've got to make the logical jump there. I think we can all make that logical jump that 7:35 is a significant time in the timeline, because anything that happens after that time, logic tells us that little Maddie's not around. And that's sad. That's sad. All right, check this out. When it still record the clicker? I don't know. I don't know how sophisticated these clickers are. Because my guess is years ago, there were very unsophisticated versions, and I don't know if they've been updated, where your particular clicker. Now, if it's done through an app, right? If it's done through an app, I think you could track that pretty easily, right? But I don't know if it's set up that way. But that's great. That's a great issue that I'm sure investigators are looking at. Okay, Catherine's telling us only 870 likes. We got to do better. Got to do better. We have to do better than that, right? Don't we have? We have to do better than that. We got almost 4,200 people watching right now. Let's kick up the likes. Let's kick up the shares on Facebook. We got to get the Facebook followers to 1 million, and we got to get YouTube buzzing tonight. Let's get it buzzing tonight. All right, looks like everyone's saying hi to Duty Ron. Hello, Duty Ron. Thanks for joining us. The preliminary autopsy, well, all right, the latest information I got is that the information wasn't ready yet. And when it is ready, I don't think it's 100% clear if it will be made public. But I would say the preliminary findings of whatever was found during the actual autopsy could be shared with investigators, give them a little heads up. Hey, this is what we saw. This is what we're looking at, but I still need to do X, Y, and Z. We've got to do the toxicology, et cetera, et cetera. So I think where we are on all of that is that, yes, obviously, whatever was discovered during the actual autopsy could have been potentially shared already, but it's not necessarily part of the final report. And part of the final report, which is the headline of every report, is cause and manner of death. So you've got to be very specific, you've got to be precise, and you've got to be definitive. And if you're leaning one way, but you're just not sure and you can't eliminate something else, then maybe you have to wait for further information from the investigation, or in the alternative, you could be waiting for the toxicology to come back. Until you know the toxicology, do you really know? Because there may be things that look the same. presuming that you're able to get the information you need from someone whose remains were left outside for 4 days in 80-degree weather, etc. Okay. All right. Yeah, and I'm scanning through some of the comments, just looking for some talking points that are on your mind. We got your followers up before Vinny, and you left us for Vinny Politan Court TV. I don't recall that, Pace. I don't recall that. I'm not following the logic there because my Facebook page, my original Facebook page was the personal page that everybody started, and I started that when I was on Sirius XM radio. Then when the pages were allowed to be created, I created. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't mean it's nefarious, but it just doesn't make sense to me. There's maybe money's really tight, working overtime. Maybe you're getting paid time and a half. There's all different things. What's that, Monica? I don't know. I'm just clicking. Prisoners are going to love him. Well, that's interesting, right? How does he get treated? Based upon these allegations, my guess is probably in protective custody right now. Probably in a protective custody. All right, exit 5B. Now in Virginia, Jersey Devil with us. That's the one rule I do have, though, with the comments from people from Jersey. You gotta let me know what exit you are, because that's where I used to live. So 5B. Oh, that's down in like Central Jersey. You're getting down south Central Jersey. All right. Thank you, Susan Lee. Appreciate it. Duty Ron is like a celebrity here. Everyone's talking about Duty Ron right now. I'm trying to find a post from Duty Ron. I can't find one. Let's see. Lily. Yes. 114. Raised exit 58. Gotcha. 114. I know that's like near Hazlitt, I think. A little bit Hazlitt. Keyport, maybe. All right. Here's what Rosebud's saying. Absence, tears, never mentioning your daughter's name, dry mouth, eyes open, few blinks, mother looked more scared for herself, that she was in trouble. A lot of people troubled by the body language. A lot of people troubled by the body language. We may take another look at it on the show tomorrow. I think we need to do that. All right. Pam is down there. You're in the neighborhood where she goes to school. Yeah. So, Pam, you have to drive by the church and see if there's any cameras there, where the cameras are and what they're going to show. There we go. Smash the like. Thank you, front range mama. Smash the likes. We're up to 4,400. Got to hit 5,000. We're going for a 5K tonight. Tonight's a 5K night. It's got to be a 5K tonight. Juanita, all in on the premeditation. Wow. Okay, I have to think about that a little bit, like as to how would that help him pull something off, get everyone up early in the morning. Now, if they have like iPhones, there's nothing you can do about the clock. I mean, that's where I check the time. Right? Do you check the time there in the morning? I mean, I used to have I still do actually have a clock, and it's dangerous because it's one of those Alexa clocks. So it's listening to me all the time. But that doesn't always have the time on it. So I have to ask it what time it is. Then it'll flash the time. But my phone right there. By the way, your phones are listening to you as well. Gray Hughes is here tonight. Oh no, we've got it. We've got fighting in the chat. Why are we fighting in the chat? We're trashing Gray in the chat. Whose fingerprint is that, though? Is the question. Whose fingerprint is that? People ask me that about the Court TV fingerprint, if it's mine, and I am not permitted to reveal whose it actually is. All right. Okay. We got some inside information here from Nancy Jean. I live 5 miles from Maddie's ex on Memorial. My husband saw when his car was at the side of the road and he was outside at the back tire inspecting it, not changing it. Interesting. Very interesting. And they determined if he stopped after. No, they haven't. We don't know. We don't know the timeline. Is that a ruse? Is that a coincidence? Like what happened here with this spare tire on the back? There's a lot. There is a lot of information that's available here. And it's the tip of the iceberg, right? Now, if they have his phone and he did a factory reset, I don't know if that impacts, and I don't think it does, impact their ability to track the pings, right? So when you have your phone, and I think most of you know this, I've been watching these trials, you have your phone and you have apps that are open. The apps are constant. You made it. I don't know how long you were trying to get in here, but you made it. A Sunday night 5K. You need to burn off St. Patty's Day and get us up to 5K. Hit like and share on the Facebook, please. He hasn't appeared in public since that, we call it a perp walk, has waived appearances in court every single time. Every single time waiving his appearance. Now, at some point, he's got to be in court. At some point, right? Some point, he's got to be in court. Cakes Boo. Thank you, Cakes Boo. I think that's Australia, I believe. Am I correct? Has to appear. Has to appear. We saw Adam Montgomery, though, in the case involving Little Harmony. He showed up for one day of jury selection, maybe, and then was gone. Wouldn't come because he was locked up, would not come over. Didn't show up for the case. I think most judges will require defendants to be there. And if they're not there, you've got to get it on the record because that's always the first issue. Not that, Mickey, thank you. We should collaborate. I have not done a collaboration yet. Honestly, don't know how to do them yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there at some point, right? At some point, we will get there with the collaboration. Thank you, Cray. Love the pros on your show. They make it easy. You don't know where to look. Well, all right. So I think on TV, most of the time you want to look at the camera. Most of the time, you just want to look at the camera like that. But obviously, when you're doing your show and you're on YouTube, you got comments, you got all these other things happening. You're pointing, you're clicking. You can be every which way. Best tip I'd get for TV: look at the camera most of the time. Once in a while, though, there might be some video up that you want to reference, or we're showing some video. Take a look at it. But Gray's been doing a great job helping us out immensely on my show, Closing Arguments on Court TV, 8 to 10, Monday through Friday. All right. Watch Vinny in the 90s on old-fashioned TV. So what does that mean? That means I'm old, right? No. But yeah, it was great being on TV back in the 90s. It was different. Things have changed immensely. The connection with the viewers has changed immensely. Obviously, none of this existed, but you just have a much better sense of everything that's going on today rather than then. Back then, it was much more difficult. It's easier. We can get more stuff on. We can get information quicker. Um, Getting information from law enforcement, getting video images is so much easier. And now reaching guests. I mean, we use Skype on television now. We use and when we first did it wasn't very reliable. It's very reliable. So we can get guests from anywhere. So there's a lot. And Lady Liberty has the big question, right? Where is Jen? Where is Jen? Again, going benefit of the doubt with this. Number one, I would say staying away from the spotlight. This is like too much. This is too much. I get it. If her child was missing, I would be much more skeptical. If you have a missing child and you go in hiding, that's a problem. It's a problem for me. I'm a parent. It's a problem. I've seen parents act both ways. But going and hiding at this point and staying out of the public spotlight, I can understand it. It's all about your personality. And then obviously people are looking at you skeptically, and that feeds it some more. But we don't know 100% of everything that's going on behind closed doors. We do know that she has not been named a suspect, and investigators have actually come out proactively and said she is not a suspect. So that's that. This is a question right here. Members, I don't know. I don't even know how that works. I don't know how that works. I'll have to look at it. But right now I'm doing let me tell you, last week I did a bunch of these, right? Plus everything else, getting ready for the show, plus living the rest of my life, trying to exercise every day and everything else. And I was exhausted. Saturday, I was done. We had amazing shows all week long, just amazing shows. And when I do my show 8 to 10 at night, I mean, there's this rush of adrenaline. You get to do the show, boom, boom, boom. And then it's over and it's like 10 o'clock and you got to go home. And you've got to go to sleep because you got to wake up the next day and do everything all over again. But last week, really, and I think adding this made things even more challenging. So the membership thing, I have no idea. At some point, I'll figure out. I'll figure out what it means and what it does, etc. Let's see. This is interesting. The flat tire may have been a way to lure her out and end her life so close to where he's. Well, here's the problem with that, though, Rosebud. And here's not the problem, but here's the conflict in that is that they're saying at 8:19 a.m. she was in the car, no longer alive. Now they could be wrong about that. She could have been drugged, right? And she would appear that way, so that the toxicology would reveal. So I think there's something to that. All right, Scott is demanding this. Thank you, Scott. Hit it, boom, hit it. Yeah, I'm enjoying. I just giggle because I'm enjoying some of the side conversations that people are having here. There's like drama in the chat, and not just in what we're talking about here. Why is LE? It's taking a long time. Is it taking a long time? Let's and again, this is important. This is important to understand where he is right now. He's locked up without bond. He is facing charges that, if convicted, will put him behind bars for the rest of his life. The charges all relate to images that are found on his phone. Therefore, what he's locked up for now is an extremely strong case. Extremely strong case. As a prosecutor, I'm a former prosecutor, it's almost as strong as you can get because it's not like the crime is being recorded. The recording is the actual crime. Okay? So the recording is a crime that puts him away. And then the crime that's being committed during the recording puts him away. And it's all on his phone. Now, he can say that it was, I don't know, he was framed. He can say it's a deep fake. It's not my phone. I don't know what you're going to come up with. The only chance he has on that part of the story, hey, Scott, the only chance he has on what he's being held on right now would be a motion to suppress, which a defense attorney makes a motion to suppress evidence, keep evidence from being permitted in front of the jury, because not all evidence comes in front of the jury. Some stuff gets excluded for various reasons. One reason being unlawful search and seizure. So if they allege, and I'm sure they will attempt to, that the seizure and the search of the phone was unlawful and a violation of his constitutional rights, then the evidence would not be permitted, and then the entire case would blow up and go away. It'd be gone. There would be no case. There'd be no case. It'd be gone. So that's the only way that a defense attorney can defend that. And that's not in front of a jury. That's in front of a judge who has to make a legal decision about whether or not the evidence was obtained legally. Appreciate it, Scott. You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mother Courage. Thank you, Mother Courage. So I hope you're following the bouncing ball here. So when it comes to the arrest hasn't been made yet, getting back to my point, for murder, like what's the rush? There's no rush. And what happens is once you charge someone with murder, then the clock starts ticking. So if you don't have everything exactly the way you want it, whether you're the DA or the lead investigator, right? They're kind of working hand in hand now. The DA will tell you when it's like, is it soup yet? Is it soup yet? Not yet, not yet. That's the DA. In Florida, it's the state attorney, they call him. Same thing, the prosecutor. Will say when it's ready. The investigators will either keep them in the loop the whole way or feed them. The question then becomes, was she drugged? Was she dead? Very important thing to have clarity on as a prosecutor before you take this thing to court. I saw people mentioning something about bestiality in the charges. So this is what you need to know about the charges. In the charges, they cite, I don't know if I have a copy here. Do I have a copy right here? I don't think no, I don't have those. It's the other case. They cite the actual statute, and the statute will give examples of what qualifies for this particular offense. Okay. So in this particular offense he's charged under, one of the theories under this offense includes bestiality, but it doesn't have to be that. Child under 5, but doesn't have to be that. That's just, it has to be one of a series of potential types of conduct that would qualify someone to be charged under this particular statute. So that's where the bestiality came from. All right, Felicia. Yes, we read here's the way it works. So I simulcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter X. And all of the comments from all of them are put together into one stream. And that stream like is flying by. We've got 4,600 people watching right now. And as that stream flies by, I try to grab things, and it's hard to tell where it's coming from. But I will say this, 90% of the comments apparently are coming from YouTube on my feed, which tells me which is surprising, right? If you've got 30,000, I think we've only got 30,000 followers on Facebook, on YouTube, because just started really doing it the last week and a half or so, right? Yet YouTube allows people to find me. Facebook, and I don't know what's happening there, for whatever reason, less than 1,000 away from 1 million followers, and they are not allowing my videos to be published on people's pages. They don't get notifications. It's strange, Felicia. It's really strange what's happening. I don't really understand it, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I do try to grab as many from all the different places that I see. Just Emmy, thank you, Just Emmy. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I think I'm setting a new record tonight. This is my longest live that I've done. Like during the week. I mean, if I can't go over an hour, I won't be able to talk at night. You can hear my voice is part of it's the allergies. Everything, we had some warm weather this weekend, but yeah, Gray agrees. Facebook's not great for Facebook punishes or doesn't help people who create content. It's really weird. It doesn't make sense to me. All right, Vinny? Here's a question. Whew. Thank you, Chrissy. I needed to relax there for just a moment. All right, I'm back in it. Same thing happens on my TV show. Sometimes I'm jumping at the camera. It's crazy. All right. Some great comments tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm getting close to running on empty. Just Joe. Thank you, Just Joe. Bo Peep, keep that blood sugar intact. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should check the blood sugar because that's the other thing. Let me see. Yeah. Actually, the blood sugar went up a little bit. It was low before, and I took something to raise it so it wouldn't be low during the show, and actually went just a little high. So I'm going to give myself a little insulin. All right. Yeah, I'm going to call Zuck. Roxanne, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Zuck. I haven't watched it in years. I want to watch the, what's it called? The Social Network or whatever, the movie. I thought it was fantastic. Reggae Queenie. Thank you, Mon. That's a bad reggae accent I just did. Drink some ginger and lemon. Ginger and lemon. All right. Wait, I saw something funny here. I just wanted to. Oh, once again, for those of you who are here on YouTube, go to Facebook, go to your account and follow me. I am less than 1,000 away from 1 million. And I'd like to hit that number. Somebody sent me something funny and then it scrolls and it's gone and I can't find it. Yeah, we've reached out. We continue to reach out to family and friends, trying to get people to talk. And I understand it's a tough time. It really, the reaction that I've seen. Monica says, Vinny seems like a healthy guy. Yeah, I'm healthy. Type 1 diabetes. Nothing you can do about it. It just happens. You're born with it. And then it comes out at some point in your life. Happened to me on Super Bowl Sunday. All right. This is important. Lauren's going to get some friends to follow tonight. So if all you Facebookers can go tell your friends to follow Vinny just so he can be happy that he hit the what is it? Let's see. the double comma club. Is that what it is? There's 2 commas in a million, right? Yeah, the double comma club. Anyhow, let's see. Okay. Let me see. Ever tried your hand at acting? You make a great movie villain. A villain? I'd be the villain? I guess I could. I should do that. I should. I haven't been in a movie. Um, I did a Broadway thing once, TV, one episode of Law and Order. Never a movie though. And I keep having these movie people on my show for the Alec Baldwin case. And every time they're on, I tell them, I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. So that's going to wrap things up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, you were amazing. Absolutely amazing tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting. Again, I'll be back. I'm getting kind of hooked on these, and they're also a good source for me to find out what's on people's minds. And I use some of the things, especially during the week, some of the conversations and things that come up in the conversation, and I'll make that part of my show at night. So whether a question arises or an issue, and I'm like, you know what? We need to look at that. And, we get the research, or we'll find the expert who can answer that question, or we find, the pieces of video or the time, put things together to address it, because the conversations that you're having here are, I think, the conversations that are on everyone's mind. And I don't have that, as you're doing a television show, you don't have that immediate interaction or feedback from the viewers. Sometimes it comes a little bit later. But obviously everyone that's on here is very, very active, and it's helpful. I think it's helpful for me. And I try to provide as much information that I have as well. And when I have breaking news in this stuff, I jump on as quickly as I can to answer those questions or provide that news when it happens. And I'll do that here. I do it on Facebook. I do it on X. I do it on Twitch. Twitch is great because I just opened a Twitch account. So I think last one, I doubled our viewers there. It was amazing. We went from like 3 to 6. It's amazing. But anyway, have a great, great night, everyone. I'm Vinny Politan, 8 to 10 Monday through Friday on Court TV, 10 a.m. on weekends for my other show, Vinny Politan Investigates. And then I am shooting season 2 of Accomplice to Murder. We're getting ready for that. That will premiere, I believe, at the end of May. And that'll be season 2. We're shooting 12 episodes of that as well. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. Happy St. Patty's. And whatever you do, don't forget to hug the kids.